everyone, welcome to Explorytime. I'm Miss Julie, and we're so happy you could join us because it's Treerrific, a series of videos where we're going to learn all about trees. Now, the word for the scientific study of trees is dendrology. Let's practice that together on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Dendrology. There's a fancy new word you can use to impress your family. So today we are coming to you live from the Chilliwack Community Forest. And I would like to start by acknowledging that we are on the unceded ancestral lands of the Stalo people. The Chilliwack Community Forest is owned by the city of Chilliwack, and it has over 100 acres of trails and forest. And you can hike, you can mountain bike, you can run if you're feeling energetic, or you can take a leisurely walk. And when you've done all that exercising, you can go to the picnic area, have a yummy feast. It's a wonderful place to come, especially if you want to study and learn about trees. Today, we are going to be talking about how trees make a community, because they do. And the stuff that we're going to be learning all comes from this amazing book, Can You Hear the Trees Talking? And it's written by Peter Voleben. So I am going to start us off with how trees make babies, because they do. So let's learn about that. Most trees have male and female parts on the same tree. They have male pollen, just tiny little greenish grayish, dusty little grains, and then female seeds. And so there are only one type of tree, the willow tree, that has either the whole tree is male or the whole tree is female. But most of the other trees have male and female parts on the same tree. Like, for instance, this beautiful western red cedar that I am seated beneath. This tree makes its babies this way. Let me explain it. So way, way, way up high, the branches where the most sunlight hits, they have the cones. This tree has cones. And so they have male cones with pollen inside and female cones with seeds. And in the fall, which we're coming up to, in October or November, this tree will release its seed cones. And the seeds have a little bit of fuzz, so they will fly a little ways, but not too far. They like to stay close to the mother tree, these ones. And then in March or April, this tree will release its pollen, all the clouds of little grains of dust, and they will float along. And if by accident they happen to land on a female seed, bam! A baby tree is born. Isn't that exciting? And so now we're going to see if we can go find Miss Janet, who's going to tell us some more Treerrific facts about tree families and friends.
Thanks, Miss Julie. Trees are just incredible, aren't they? Now, did you know that trees have families? They're called species, just like these 2 western hemlocks behind me. So, how do trees learn who is part of their family and how do they communicate with each other? Well, it's through the roots below the ground. And down here you can see the western hemlock's roots coming up above the soil. So, the tips of a tree's roots are more sensitive than the tips of our fingers. They can even make decisions with them. It's almost like they have a small brain there. Isn't that amazing? If a tree's roots reach out and find those of a neighboring tree, that is when they can determine if they are part of the same species. And if they are, chances are they're part of the same family. And those trees' roots will grow interconnected, and then they can communicate with each other, make some decisions, and even share the sugars that they need. It's almost like they've invited each other over for dinner. There are trees who become so close, they become like true tree friends. Their roots grow so closely interwoven, and it's like they're one tree. And way up at the top of the tree, their crowns will face away from each other so that their branches don't get in the way, and they can each receive as much sunlight as they require. It's just Treerrific. Now, did you know that trees also go to school? I'm going to tell you about that next. Hello there, here I am standing in an old elementary school. So, what is it that trees learn when they go to school? Well, they are going to learn how to grow straight and tall. A tree starts school when they're about 1 meter high, and they'll go to school with 100 other students. So why is it that they need to learn how to grow straight? Well, if a tree has a bit of a bend in it, they might fall down during a storm. Sometimes there are class clowns. Those are the trees that grow a little bit to the right or a little bit to the left. We have an example of one just here. You can see how it didn't start very straight, did it? And the trunk is a whole lot skinnier than the other cedars around me, and it's not very tall either. The other thing that's important about learning to grow straight and tall is so that they can reach the sunlight that's way, way up high. That's what every tree needs. I want to thank you for joining us for our first Treerrific episode. Bye-bye.